Should you be combining your platforms into one on TikTok and on Instagram if you're running multiple businesses and building personal brands? This is a question I get an awful lot, and you may have noticed that I have made a few changes lately on my platforms as well. So, today we're going to break down everything you need to know about whether you should or shouldn't and why I did. Now, this is something that is very different than what I have previously been teaching. We very strongly encourage people to keep their businesses separate. But why is that? Well, we know that when people come to your social media, they have to immediately understand exactly who you are and how you're going to serve them. They don't really care about what it is you're doing unless you can benefit them in some way. So if you have two very different areas that you are creating inside of your business life and people don't understand what you're doing, or they think I really don't want that side of it, they're probably not going to follow you. So, for the most part, and for the original part of our conversation, you should be keeping your conversations separate. Your businesses should, in fact, be separate if you're running separate businesses. If, however, you're building a personal brand, we're starting to see a shift in this. So, for a very long time, I kept my businesses separate. You know, I teach social media marketing, business coaching, branding, all of that stuff here, but I also have my fiction author life. And for many years, the entirety of my 10-year career doing this has been kept separate. We're now at the point where things are definitely changing. And if you've got questions on this while we're live, go ahead and drop those down below. We are seeing a shift. In fact, we are starting to see a shift where TikTok itself is telling us to be multifaceted, to create a platform with all of your things in one. They do not want to see you building out in separate areas. So let's talk about why I decided to combine my platforms on TikTok and on Instagram, not on YouTube, not in my websites, not elsewhere, but definitely on TikTok and Instagram. I decided to combine my platforms, and let's talk about whether it's going to be the right fit for you or not. So for me, you will have noticed that my socials have now changed. I have combined everything into at KM Robinson Life on Instagram and TikTok. You can go check it out right now. Give it a follow because every single day I'm sharing content on how to grow on social media, understanding TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all the social platforms, live streaming, all those things. I'm also talking about books. I'm talking about writing. I'm talking about publishing. I'm talking about travel. I'm talking about influencing. So there's a lot that goes on inside of this. And I chose to then combine it into one for a couple of different reasons. The most relevant reason is that now I have developed platforms in multiple areas. I am known very strongly. I am recognized in public when I go out at times for what I do. People understand who I am and what I do and the different areas that I'm working in. They have followed me on both platforms, or they chose to follow me on one or the other. And at this point, we're seeing dramatic growth from people who are being very real and relational. Now, TikTok has spent the better part of the last year informing their creators that we should be combining these into one areas instead of trying to grow two different channels. And for a long time, I resisted this, and we in general resisted this, but we're starting to see this grow more and more for different people who are doing this and doing this really well. Once you're an established person and you're doing a personal brand and people recognize your face, it's going to be a lot easier for people to follow you in one location because they're going to hit and miss with your content anyway. So if somebody does want to learn from both sides of your businesses, the two different things that you're doing, they're going to assume that they're already following you because they were on one platform, and they'll miss stuff from the other platform. It does not necessarily extend your reach to have different platforms on this. So for me, I'm testing this out. I'm trying this right now, but I've seen it work for a lot of different people as they're bringing their businesses, their personalities, their personal brands into one. So I have done this. I am not doing this on my YouTube channel because I have established this very, very strongly on YouTube that this channel that we're on right now is for marketing. It is for TikTok, it's for Instagram, it's for YouTube, it's for live streaming, it's tools and resources, it's business growth. And if people showed up and all of a sudden started hearing about my fiction books, they would probably pop away. That's not something they're going to really understand. So I have a very streamlined process where content is more searchable. My websites are very independent of each other. There's no crossover there. My YouTube channels, very independent of each other. But because the algorithms are different on social platforms that are a little more on the social side and a little less on the SEO side, we're going to see that as people are scrolling through TikTok, they're going to hit those videos. And if they've watched videos here, they'll probably watch my other videos over here. It's going to benefit the algorithm, it's going to benefit my standing, and it's going to be able to grow me into one place as I am continuing to influence and do brand sponsorships and to do all these different things where I am forming one unified community that has a lot of overlap in it. So I am pulling all of my Instagram together and all of my TikTok together, which also streamlines my process for content creation, because where I was putting out 10 videos a day on each of my channels, now I'm putting out less content because I am doing some of each on that platform, and it's going to reach the right people because the algorithms have already been trained for the content that I'm saying. Remember, the algorithms are really smart on social media. So Instagram and TikTok know what you're saying, what you're doing, what the background is, the caption that you've written, the text that you've put there, the music they're hearing in the background from the coffee shop that you're in. They understand everything that's going on, and they're able to then categorize your content to show to the right people. So even though I'm starting to build up these platforms, both with social media strategy and with my fiction author life, they know where to send that individualized content because they already understand the content that I'm creating, what I've got going on, the things that I'm saying, and who is going to benefit. So this is building up my audience in a really effective way, and it's going to be different than the YouTube algorithm or some of those other things that are going out on social media and online. So right now, if you do have multiple businesses and it's personal brand businesses, so we're not talking like big corporations, like if you have a product that you sell and that's it, and that's one thing, keep that separate. You're not going to want to combine that with your personal brand or with your other businesses. But if you are very strongly the face of both of your different platforms, it's okay to bring that together, and they're strongly encouraging it. And remember, Instagram has gone as far as to encourage us to create our own hashtags on the system. So we want to make sure that we're kind of listening to what the social platforms are saying. TikTok says combine. We want to make sure that people can easily find us across the board. So if we're combining on TikTok, we also want to combine over on Instagram. We want to be able to send them to one location. So it's very important to make this decision for yourself. And it's not going to be something that is super easy. You are going to have to sit down and break this apart. Are you a personal face brand? Are you the face of that brand? Do people recognize you and then come to you for advice or to learn or to buy your products and services? If that's the case, you can combine these. If you've got some crossover audiences, you can combine these. If it's not a big corporation or like a big business where you're selling one product or one service and that is it, you can combine these. And this is something you need to do once you've started to establish yourself. So if you are brand new, you can do it right now. If you're somebody who is starting to establish yourself a little bit more, lean heavily into one side. And once you've built that up a little bit, bring in the other. So you'll notice with my platforms, what I did on TikTok was I very strongly grew one of my platforms. And then I started implementing the other things into it because I had that audience, because I had established that relationship. I had very specifically said who I was on this platform. And because I said who I was on this platform, I grew very, very quickly. And then I was able to add in those other things. So now that they already know me, now they're starting to get their content that's going to be relevant to them. So pick the one that you want to be able to grow first, and then add in the other more relevant one later on. Remember, I focus my businesses on different platforms. So education-wise, YouTube is the place to be to learn from me. But if you wanted my author life, hanging out in that community and those conversations, TikTok was the place to be. So then I added in the social media aspect to it after I had grown that particular part of the platform. So focus on where you need to be focused on. Use that as your main account, and then start to add things in and see how it goes. Do not give up as you're doing this, because as you're starting to change over and combine things, it's going to show less. It is not going to show to as many people because they're relearning who they're going to be communicating to through your algorithm system. So it is a process to cross things over, but you want to make sure that you are considering it before you give it a try and decide what you're going to do if you don't like how it works out. But for me, I am switching that over to @KMRobinsonLife. So if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, this is the place to be now for all things social media marketing, all things publication, all things influencer life, all things business growth, and they're all being combined into one where you're going to get something really good out of it, no matter what part of my business life you want to follow. And you can decide for yourself as well. If you have questions on this, go ahead and let me know. And if you're not sure if you should try to combine it or not, please DM me on KM Robinson Life. I am more than happy to help walk you through this and make that decision for your business to see if it's going to be the right fit for you, or if you should keep those business entities separate and make sure you're growing to individual different parts of the platform. But right now, I am loving the fact that I am creating less content because it's now all streamlined in one place. I love that I'm building up my audience much more rapidly because I have already established said platform. I very strongly like that I can pull everything into one, so I am multifaceted. I've got a lot of things happening, and people can learn and grow from my content the way that they want to and communicate with me in the way that they want to. And it's very easy to find that I am an established human being now that it's only one for all the different areas of my life. But keep in mind, I've only done this on Instagram and on TikTok. This has not affected my YouTube channel, which I'm still very strongly keeping apart. If you got questions, comments, go ahead and let me know. We're here every single live and your questions in real time. So if you have a topic you would like to see me cover, go ahead and let me know. Hit the subscribe and notification bell, because every single day we're dropping brand new content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, live stream growth, as well as business. We're talking NFTs and Web3. We've got amazing guests coming up in the very near future. In fact, I'm doing an interview later today you guys are going to be so excited for, and I cannot wait to share my upcoming guests with you. So hit the subscribe and notification bell, and I'll